This video is about he loved her more than power, but his pack loved power more. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low over the Silverman forest, casting silvery shadows on the ground where the wildflowers bloomed. Ethan stood at the edge of the clearing, his heart heavy as he listened to the distant howls of his pack. They were a sound of power, a call to dominance, yet they felt like a weight on his soul. He loved them, but their hunger for strength threatened everything he held dear. Ethan. The urgent whisper pulled him from his thoughts. It was Leela, slipping through the trees with a grace that made even the moonlight pause. Her hair glowed like spun silver, and her emerald eyes sparkled with an unspoken urgency. He shouldn't he be out here alone? He turned to face her, feeling the warmth radiate from her presence. I needed to think, he replied, his voice heavy with the burden of leadership. You know how the pack feels about the Blood Moon Ridge territory. They want it, and they want it now. Leela stepped closer, her brow furrowing with concern. But it's not worth the lives that may be lost. We can just charge him without a plan. Ethan, you're not just an alpha, you're a protector. Sometimes, I wonder if they see me as a protector or a pawn, Ethan murmured, his gaze drifting to the ground. They want power, and I want you. It feels like a battle I can win. Then choose, she implored, her voice rising with emotion. Choose us over power. You don't have to give in to their demands. We could leave together. He shook his head, a sense of dread settling like a stone in his gut. If I abandon the pack, they'll spiral into chaos. I can let that happen. Leela, they need me. And what about what you need? Leela's voice softened, yet it held still like resolve. What about your heart? I am your destined mate, Ethan. We were chosen for each other, and our love is stronger than any territory. His heart raced at her words, and the air between them crackled with unspoken tension. Leela, what we have is forbidden. You know that. The elders will never accept an Omega as my mate. They see you as weak. Maybe they were wrong, she whispered, stepping closer. The scent of wild lavender surrounded her, intoxicating him. Maybe our bond is what can change everything. You could be the alpha who loves, not just the one who conquers. Ethan's breath hitched in his throat. The pull between them was undeniable, a magnetic force that forced him to confront the depths of his feelings. You deserve an alpha who can stand proud beside you, not one who hides you away in the shadows. But then let us take that leap together, Leela urged, her hands reaching out to grasp his. We could gather supporters, those who believe in us. Not all of them crave power for its own sake. But what if they turn against us? What if our love becomes the very thing that destroys us? Doubt tainted his voice, and he felt torn between his pack and the woman who had stolen his heart. Then we'll face it together, she replied fiercely, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. I'll never let you fight this alone, Ethan. I believe in you. Just then, a howl pierced the night, sending a shiver down Ethan's spine. The Elder Council had gathered, their presence ominous. He could see them in the distance, their silhouettes dark against the moonlight, waiting for him. Go, he said hastily, pushing her away gently. I need to face them, please. I can let them see you. Leela searched his face, desperation etched in her features. Ethan, don't let them strip you of who you are. Don't let them take me from you. I want he vowed, but his heart was a tumult of fear and longing. As she retreated into the shadows, he felt the weight of the world settle on his shoulders. When he approached the council, their eyes bore into him like daggers. Alpha Marcus, the towering figure of authority, stepped forward. Ethan, we have discussed the Blood Moon Ridge situation. We cannot wait any longer. Our strength is our legacy. Legacy? Ethan's voice was a low growl. What legacy? Will it be when there are no pack members left standing? We can't afford to lose anyone to a foolish war. Every alpha must make sacrifices, Marcus replied, arrogance dripping from his words. You need to prove your worth. You need to show them you are not merely the Beta's son, but the strong leader we need. Bleeding by fear is not strength, Ethan retorted, his heart racing. You speak of power like it is the only thing that matters. Our pack is more than that. It is about heart, about loyalty. Enough. Marcus's voice reverberated through the clearing. You will lead us into battle, or you will relinquish your title. We will not tolerate weakness. Ethan felt the earth shift beneath him. The choice loomed over him like the weight of the moon itself. He wanted to scream, to fight back, but he felt the pack's eyes on him, waiting for his response. Alpha, someone called from the back. What about Leela? She is an Omega. Surely you cannot be willing to sacrifice the strength of our bloodline for her. His heart clenched painfully at the mention of her. She is not a weakness, he said defiantly. She is my mate, destined by the moon itself. Our love is the strength we need to unite the pack, not divide it. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Marcus glared at him, fury igniting the air between them. You dare defy the ancient ways, you will ruin everything we've rebuilt. Perhaps what you've rebuilt is flawed, Ethan challenged, feeling a surge of confidence. I will not lead my pack into battle against old traditions that stifle our hearts. We are wolves, not mere pawns. Tension crackled like lightning, and Ethan could feel the stirrings of unrest. Some wolves began to murmur in agreement, others shot him looks of disdain. Then your time as alpha is over, Marcus spat, eyes glinting with malice. You are unfit to lead. We will find a new alpha who will bring glory to our name. Ethan's heart plummeted as the murmurs grew louder. No, wait, he pleaded, desperation clawing at him. Please listen to reason. But the council was already turning away, their minds made up. As he stood there, a sinking feeling washed over him. A rift was forming, and he was left dangling on the precipice of despair. As the pack dispersed, he felt the weight of rejection pressing down on him. He had chosen love over power, yet it seemed he had lost both. Leila's face flashed in his mind, her eyes bright with hope, and he realized he had to find her. He needed to hold onto her to fight for the bond they shared. As Ethan raced through the trees, the moonlight illuminated his path, whispering secrets of destiny. Little did he know, the threads of betrayal were weaving deeper, and the true test of love and loyalty had only just begun. Leila, he called into the night, his heart pounding. I won't let them take you from me. But the forest remained silent, the shadows swallowing his words, leaving him with the pulsating ache of longing and a resolve that burned deep within. Destiny was calling, and he had to answer. As the trees loomed around him, their branches twisted like skeletal fingers against the night sky, Ethan's heart thudded with urgency. Each stride sent a surge of adrenaline coursing through him, propelling him toward Leila. He could feel the moon's watchful gaze, urging him forward, as if it was a living entity attuned to the turmoil within him. Leila, he shouted again, the name tasting like a prayer on his tongue. The wind howled in response, carrying his voice away into the depths of Silverman Forest. The ache of despair clawed at him, and he fought to suppress it. He couldn't afford to succumb to hopelessness, not now. The weight of the council's words lingered in the air, their echoes reverberating within his mind. You are unfit to lead. The refusal to see beyond bloodlines and strength gnawed at his soul. But Leila believed in him, and that belief was a beacon in his darkness. Finally, he stumbled into the glade where they often met, the clearing bathed in silvery light. The wildflowers whispered in the breeze, their delicate petals shimmering like stars fallen to earth. But the beauty of the moment was tainted with dread. Leila, he called again, desperation lacing his voice. Just as he was about to lose hope, he spotted her silhouette, her figure framed by the moonlight. She emerged slowly from the shadows, her eyes wide with concern that mirrored his own. Ethan, she cried, rushing toward him. He caught her in his arms, feeling the warmth of her body against his, grounding him amidst the chaos. I was so worried. I am sorry, he murmured, his voice ragged as he pulled back to look into her eyes. They rejected me, Leila. I stood for us, and they want me gone. Her expression shifted from worry to fierce determination. He stood for what is right. You are their alpha. Ethan, you can let them strip you of that title because of tradition. You are more than a name. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. But what if they choose someone who will use force to gain power? What happens to you then? I'll fight for us, she declared, her voice unwavering. Together, we can gather those who believe in our bond. We can show them love is our greatest strength. His heart swelled at her words, yet a shadow flickered in his mind. What if it is not enough? What if they turn against us? The very thought made him sick with worry. We have the moon on our side, Leila replied, her eyes glinting like emeralds in the night. It shows us, and that connection is unbreakable. Love is the fiercest bond of all. Just then, a rustle in the underbrush made them both turn. From the shadows emerged Mara, Ethan's childhood friend and a fierce warrior of the pack. You are in danger, she warned, her voice tense as she scanned the trees. The council is plotting against you, Ethan. They are not willing to let you challenge their authority. Ethan felt the icy grip of fear claw at him. What do you mean? They're reconsidering a challenge, she replied, her brow furrowing. A duel to the death to decide the alpha. They want to humiliate you and eliminate the perceived weakness of your bond with Leila. His blood ran cold. A duel? They wouldn't dare. Mara stepped closer, her voice low and urgent. They would. They believe you are too soft to lead. You need allies, now. Leila squeezed his hand, her strength fortifying him. We'll rally those who care about the truth. We can let them tear us apart. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their shared destiny. "If they want a fight, we'll give them one," he said, determination lighting his eyes. "But not just a battle for power, I'll fight for love for you. We need to act fast," Mara warned. "Gather those you trust. I'll spread the word to the warriors. We need numbers." As they formulated their plan, Ethan felt the pulse of the forest around him, alive with energy and ancient magic. The trees whispered secrets, urging him to embrace the power within him, the power that came from love and unity rather than fear. That night, they set out under the moonlight, making their way through the woods to find allies. Word of Ethan's defiance against the council spread like wildfire, igniting hope in the hearts of those who had long suffered under the weight of tradition. "Ethan, wait," the voice called out, and he turned to see Jace, a loyal warrior with fierce loyalty in his eyes. "I heard what happened. I am with you, brother. We can't let Marcus and his cronies dictate our lives." "Thank you, Jace," Ethan responded, emotion tightening his throat. "Together, we can change everything." One by one, they gathered more supporters. A small group began to form, warriors and wolves who believed in the possibility of a different future. With each rallying howl, Ethan felt the weight on his shoulders lighten, replaced by a burgeoning sense of hope. Despite the growing numbers, the tension within Ethan remained palpable. "What if I fail them? What if I put you all in danger because of my choices?" he confessed to Leela one night as they sat beneath the stars, the air thick with unspoken fears. Her hand found his, warm and reassuring. "You won't fail because you're willing to fight for what matters. You are the alpha who protects, not just leads. Trust in yourself, Ethan." "I wish I had your faith," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "But every time I think about losing you." Leela leaned closer, her breath warm against his cheek. "You won't lose me. Our bond is stronger than any challenge they throw our way." As the days passed, the council's challenge loomed closer, and Ethan found himself wrestling with doubt. The night before the duel, he and Leela stood in their secret glade, the moon blazing overhead, its light illuminating their resolve. "But tomorrow, we face them," he said, his voice steady despite the storm inside. "If I lose, I want you to promise me one thing." Her eyes widened and a soft breeze rustled through the trees. "What is it?" "Promise you I'll continue to fight for love, no matter what, even if I am gone," he urged, his heart breaking at the thought. Leela cupped his face, her touch grounding him. "And what about you? You must promise to come back to me. I will not accept anything less than your victory, Ethan." "I promise," he vowed, sealing their bond with a kiss that tasted like hope and longing. In that moment, the world around them faded, and all that remained was the connection they shared, pure and unyielding. The sun rose the next day in a blaze of crimson, an omen casting shadows over the impending duel. Pack gathered, tension thick in the air as the council set the stage. Marcus stood across from Ethan, a smirk plastered on his face. "You're making a grave mistake, Ethan," Marcus taunted, his voice dripping with malice. "Your love won't save you here." Ethan felt the crowd's eyes upon him, their memories swelling like a tempest. He took a deep breath, feeling Leela's presence behind him, grounding him. "Love is my strength, Marcus, and I will fight for it." With a fierce howl, the challenge began. Ethan and Marcus circled each other, the tension palpable. Each movement was a dance of fate, the instincts of the wolf battling against the heart of a lover. As they clashed, Ethan fought not just for himself, but for Leela, for the love that had given him strength when the world felt heavy. The earth trembled beneath their feet, and the moon watched with bated breath, a silent witness to their battle of destinies. But Marcus fought with rage, and each blow was a reminder of the lengths to which power could corrupt. "You think love can save you?" he snarled, delivering a sharp kick that sent Ethan stumbling. Ethan grunted, but rose again, the fire of Leela's love igniting every ounce of his being. "It is what will change everything," he roared, launching forward with fierce determination. With each strike, he felt the tide of power shift, the voices of his allies ringing in the background, urging him on. He remembered their faces, those who believed in a new legacy. He fought not just for himself, but for those who dared to dream of a future beyond fear. Finally, with a surge of energy, Ethan broke through Marcus's defenses. He pinned him down, the weight of his victory crashing over him like a wave. "This is not just about power, Marcus, it is about love, unity, and breaking the chains of tradition." Marcus glared, the defiance in his eyes faltering as the crowd roared in approval. Ethan released him, standing tall, heart racing with triumph. As the moon shone down on them, he turned to face the pack, breathless with emotion. "We can forge a new path together, one where love is our strength and not a weakness. Join me." Cheers erupted, echoing through the... As the cheers of his pack echoed in the silver moon forest, Ethan felt a rush of hope, but the moment was fleeting. Marcus lay defeated at his feet, the anger in his eyes swelling with a bitter disbelief. You think you've won? Marcus spat, his voice trembling with rage. You've only awakened something darker. A shiver ran through the crowd, and Ethan felt the chill seep into his bones. What do you mean? He demanded, his heart pounding. Lila stepped forward, worry etched on her face as she grasped his arm, her touch grounding him against the anxiety creeping in. Power doesn't give up easily, Ethan, Marcus warned, his voice low and dangerous. You've made enemies, not just allies. There are wolves within our pack who crave my influence, and they want to accept you as their alpha, not now. Let them come, Ethan replied, his courage bolstered by Lila's unwavering gaze. This is about more than just power, it is about the future we can create together. But inside, doubt twisted like a thorn vine. The exhilaration of victory faded, leaving uncertainty in its wake. The echoes of Marcus's words haunted him, and even as the pack celebrated, Ethan's heart felt heavy. That night, under a tapestry of stars, he and Lila sat together on the edge of the glade, the moon casting a silvery glow around them. You were incredible today, Lila remarked softly, brushing her fingers against his cheek. You stood up not only for yourself, but for all of us. I wish I felt as proud as you do, Ethan confessed, his voice thick with emotion. I am afraid of what comes next, Marcus's threats linger like shadows, his followers they allow not take this defeat lightly. Lila wrapped her arms around him, her warmth seeping into his skin. Together, we can face whatever comes, believe in our bond, the moon has chosen us, and we have the strength of love behind us. He looked deep into her eyes, emerald shining like jewels in the night. But what if love isn't enough? What if it is not enough to protect you? The vulnerability in his voice cracked like glass, revealing the raw fear that lay beneath. Love is a force greater than any weapon, she insisted fiercely. I will fight for us, we will gather allies, find those who believe in our vision. Just then, a rustling from the trees caught their attention. From the shadows emerged Mara, her expression grim. We need to talk, she said, urgency gripping her tone. It is worse than I thought. What do you mean? Ethan asked, sitting up straighter, tension coiling in his gut. Mara, Lila urged, concern flooding her voice. What is happening? The council is not the only threat, Mara explained, her brow furrowing deeply. Whispers of dissent have begun, a faction of the pack is forming with the intent to challenge your authority. They want to see you fail. Ethan felt a surge of anger mixed with fear. How can they do this? They saw me fight for them. It doesn't matter, Mara said, her fist clenched in frustration. To some, your victory only proves the need to reclaim power. They see you as a threat, not a leader. Lila's grip on Ethan tightened, and he could feel the tremors of uncertainty churning in the air. We need to gather more supporters, reach out to those who want change. We can allow fear to poison our pack, she said, her voice steady yet strained with the weight of the situation. Ethan nodded, a flicker of determination igniting within him. We all do it together. We all reach out to those who believe in unity. The pack needs to see their strength in love, even among the wolves. As the trio hatched their plan, a flicker of unease settled in Ethan's chest. The stakes felt higher than ever, and he found himself wrestling with the fears of betrayal that loomed like dark clouds above them. The next few days were filled with whispers and strategizing, each encounter shaping their fight for acceptance. But under the surface, betrayal brewed, and Ethan could sense it. One evening, as he stood with Lila near the glade, the air grew heavy with tension. I feel it, Lila. There are wolves among us who want to bring me down, he confessed, looking deep into her eyes. What if they succeed? Then we all fight back, she replied fiercely, her voice unwavering. We all stand strong, Ethan, together. Our love is unbreakable. We can let fear rule our hearts. Suddenly, a voice broke through the tranquility, a sharp bark that sliced the night. You think you can lead without the council's approval, blinded by love, are you? It was Jace, Ethan's once loyal friend, a flicker of disdain dancing in his eyes. You are a fool if you think they will support you. Jace, you are better than this, Ethan pleaded, stepping forward. We can make a better future together, don't you be swayed by their darkness. Better for who? Jace retorted, his anger boiling over. You've chosen Omega as your mate. They see you as weak, and I am starting to see it too. With that, he turned and stormed off into the shadows, leaving Ethan's heart aching. Ethan, don't let him get to you, Lila urged, her voice filled with concern. Remember why we were fighting. We can show them a different way. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and as the days progressed, Ethan felt the weight of betrayal growing. Supporters rallied, but whispers of dissent echoed in every corner. Alliances began to fray, and the atmosphere thickened with mistrust. Then came the night of the gathering, when those who supported Ethan would come to show their allegiance. As the moon hung high, casting an ethereal glow over the clearing, Ethan stood at the center, heart racing with anticipation. But as the pack gathered, a figure emerged from the shadows. Marcus, flanked by Jace and a group of warriors. The air crackled with tension. Well, if it isn't he, the so-called Alpha, Marcus jeered, a smirk twisting his lips. Ethan felt a swell of anger rise within him. What do you want, Marcus? Haven't you caused enough destruction already? We were here to show you what real power looks like, Marcus replied, his voice low and menacing. You may have won the fight, but the pack will never accept you while you cling to an Omega. Jace stepped forward, a sneer on his face. You're risking everything for someone deemed weak. Your love is a folly that will only lead to ruin. The crowd began to murmur, uncertainty ripping through them like wildfire. Ethan's heart raced as he glanced at Leela, her eyes filled with fear and heartache. This is not what we promised, he said, his voice firm. Love is not a weakness, it is our strength. Love doesn't win wars, Marcus challenged, his eyes glinting with malice. We will find a way to rid this pack of weakness. You and your Omega will fall, and we will reclaim our power. Ethan felt the ground shift beneath him, the weight of the world pressing down as whispers of dissent threatened to swallow him whole. If you want a war, Marcus, you'll have it, he declared, resolve hardening in his chest. But I will fight for love, not hate. The crowd gasped, a mixture of awe and fear swelling in the air. As Marcus laughed, a hollow sound that echoed through the night, Ethan felt Leela's presence beside him, a steady flame in the storm. Together, she whispered, squeezing his hand. We will rise above their darkness. Our bond is unbreakable. They can take that from us. But as the tension mounted, a figure emerged from the shadows. Mara, her face pale and strained. Ethan, we need to leave. They're replanning a raid tonight. They want to ambush the gathering and take you down. Ethan's heart sank at the gravity of her words. We want to let them win, he replied, his voice steady despite the fear clawing at him. We're stronger than they think. We want to back down. With a nod of determination, Ethan turned to his pack. Tonight, we choose love over fear. Stand by me, and we will show them that our bond cannot be broken. As the rallying cries erupted from the crowd, he felt a surge of unity ignite within him. They were more than just wolves. They were a family bound by love, a force to be reckoned with. The night sky darkened further as the raid began. The pack moved like shadows, slipping through the trees, hearts pounding with anticipation. Ethan could feel the pulse of unity, the strength of their resolve coursing through the air. Through the chaos of the gathering, Ethan fought with everything he had, each strike fueled by the love that burned within him. The darkness of Marcus and his followers loomed, but their resolve only strengthened as they fought together. Amidst the clash of bodies and the howl of wolves, Ethan desperately sought Leela. Stay close, he shouted, dodging a blow, as the shadows swarmed around them, blending into the chaos of the night. The air sizzled with tension, like a storm about to break. Ethan could feel the pulse of the fight resonate through his veins, every instinct urging him to protect Leela at all costs. Ethan. Leela's voice cut through the noise, laced with urgency. We need to regroup. She was a vision of fierce determination, her hair whipping around her face like a silver banner in the tumult. He fought his way toward her, dodging blows and deflecting attacks as he moved. I am coming, he shouted back, adrenaline surging through him. For every strike he delivered, every growl he unleashed, he felt not just for himself, but for her, for the bond they shared. But as he reached her, the ground beneath their feet shifted. A sudden roar erupted from behind, and Ethan turned just in time to see Marcus charging toward them, flanked by Jace and several loyal warriors. You think you can hide behind an Omega? Marcus sneered, his eyes gleaming with malice. You are nothing without her. Ethan's heart raced, rage igniting within him. I am everything because of her, he growled, stepping protectively in front of Leela. Our love is stronger than any power you could wield. Leela's hand found his, squeezing tightly. Together, she whispered fiercely, her emerald eyes aflame with passion and courage. We will not let them tear us apart. With a fierce howl, Ethan surged forward, meeting Marcus's charge head-on. The impact sent shockwaves through him, a clash of wills that reverberated in the night. This isn't just about you or me, Marcus. Ethan shouted, grappling for dominance. It is about all of us. You've blinded them with your thirst for power for far too long. Marcus snarled, muscles straining as their bodies collided once more. You think they follow you out of love? They follow you because they fear what I'll do to them if they don't. But in that moment of struggle, the true nature of the pack revealed itself. From the edges of the chaos, howls rang out, loyal voices, rallying cries that echoed through the forest. Each sound punctured the veil of darkness, igniting a flicker of hope. Ethan, Leela, they called, warriors rising to defend them, their spirits intertwined with the bonds they forged in love and unity. Ethan felt the energy shift, like the moon illuminating the darkest corners of the night. "We stand together," he shouted, feeling the strength of his allies surge behind him. With every howl, their resolve grew stronger, resonating like a heartbeat in the vastness of the forest. But just as he felt the tide turning, a sharp pain seared through his side. He turned to find Jace, his former friend, a look of betrayal etched on his face. "You think you can lead with your heart?" Jace spat, his voice thick with scorn. "You be weak, Ethan. You'll bring ruin to us all." "Jace, don't you do this." Ethan pleaded, his heart breaking at the sight of his friend, lost to darkness. "You know this isn't who you are. We can forge a future together." But Jace's eyes were clouded with anger and resentment. "You abandoned us for her," he shouted, his voice trembling with rage. "You've each chosen an omega over your own pack. You are unfit to lead." Ethan's breath caught in his throat, his heart shattering as he faced the painful truth. "Our bond is stronger than any title, any tradition," he cried, desperation clawing at him. "Leela is not a weakness, she is my strength." But Jace lunged toward him again, and Ethan had no choice but to fight back. Their bodies collided, a whirlwind of fury and heartbreak. He could see the flicker of the boy he once knew in Jace's eyes, buried beneath layers of anger. "You can find strength in love," Jace shouted, each blow resonating with the weight of betrayal. "Love is the greatest strength of all." Ethan roared back, the fire of desperation igniting his spirit. And for a moment, the world around him faded, their struggle becoming a dance of fate and destiny. In that moment of chaos, Leela stepped forward, her voice cutting through the tumult with a grace that silenced even the fiercest of hearts. "You were wrong, Jace," she called, her gaze unwavering. "Love breaks the cycle of fear. Look at what it has brought us: unity, hope, and a future." Jace hesitated, confusion flickering in his eyes. "Leela, you..." But Marcus seized the moment, a cruel smirk twisting his lips. "Pathetic, look at her, trying to save you. Love will not protect you from power. It will only make you weak." He lunged toward Leela, but Ethan's instincts kicked in. With a roar, he intercepted Marcus, their bodies crashing together with a force that echoed through the trees. "You were wrong, Marcus," Ethan growled. "This is not about power, it is about love, and that will always triumph over hate." The two clashed fiercely, each blow a testament to the depth of Ethan's conviction. He fought not just for himself, but for Leela and the love that bound them, for the pack that sought a new way, a way of unity, acceptance, and hope. But as the fight raged on, the weight of betrayal began to settle like a storm cloud. Jace's strikes were sharper, fueled by anger, and Ethan could sense the deep pain within his former friend. Each clash weighed heavier on his heart, tearing at the bond they once shared. "Jace, this isn't to you," Ethan shouted, dodging another blow. "You don't have to do this, we can change things together." But Jace's expression hardened, and with a final hit, Ethan found himself staggered back. He fought to regain his footing, but the blow had shaken his resolve. "I was once proud to stand by your side, Ethan, but you've thrown it all away." Jace shouted, venom in his voice. In that moment of vulnerability, Leela stepped forward, her eyes fierce with determination. "You don't understand, Jace. Love has the power to transform us all. We are stronger together, not divided by old ways." But Jace's anger only flared, turning to a deeper place of pain. "You are all fools. Power is what defines us as wolves. You'll all perish in this foolish pursuit of love." As Marcus regrouped with his followers, Ethan felt the tension reach a breaking point. "This is not just a fight for power, Marcus," he roared, meeting the eyes of his pack. "It is a fight for our hearts, for a future where love is our guiding force." But at that moment, the darkness that Marcus had nurtured began to stir. A group of rogue wolves, led by Jace, advanced from the shadows, their eyes glinting with malicious intent. "We will show you what happens when you defy the council," Jace shouted, fury fueling his every move. Fear coursed through Ethan, but with Leela beside him, he felt an unyielding strength. "We will stand together," he cried, rallying the remaining pack members. "Love will guide us through this darkness." As the two factions clashed, the air crackled with energy, and Ethan fought with every ounce of strength within him, each strike fueled by the love he felt for Leela and the vision they shared. He could hear the echoes of the pack behind him, rallying for a future that transcended bloodlines and tradition. Amidst the chaos, he found Leela's gaze, her emerald eyes blazing like stars against the night. "We can do this," she shouted, determination ringing in her voice. "We will show them the power of love." With renewed vigor, Ethan surged forward, the world around him fading as he focused on the battle. He felt the presence of his allies behind him, the bond they shared becoming a living force, propelling them against the tide of doubt and betrayal. As the fight reached a fever pitch, Ethan faced Jace once more. "This isn't the way, Jace," he shouted, desperation lacing his voice. "We were brothers, we can be again." But as Jace's eyes hardened, Ethan felt a pang of sorrow. "You've chosen her over us, Ethan," Jace spat, bitterness coating his words. "You've lost everything." Ethan's heart clenched painfully. "If I lose this fight, I'll lose everything. But I'll never lose the love I have for Lilo or the vision we share." With that, he launched himself at Jace, their bodies colliding in a whirlwind of anger and grief. But this time, Ethan felt something shift within him, a flicker of understanding. "I won't fight you as an enemy, Jace. I'll fight you as a brother," he shouted, pushing back against the pain of betrayal. As their bodies collided with ferocity, Ethan found himself grappling not just with Jace but with the weight of their shared past, the memories of laughter, brotherhood, and dreams that once united them. "We were meant for more than this," he cried, desperation washing over him.